Yeah, great team win. Obviously, it wasn't pretty at times defensively, but I think we got 3 takeaways, and you know, got timely stops, if you will. And I thought our special teams, boy, that is a very, very talented and well coached special teams unit, especially their 2 return units. And I felt like we at least neutralized that, if not, gained an advantage, especially with the big kickoff return, a couple big kickoff returns, and then obviously to have the patchwork offensive line that we had. I'm just so proud of them for the way that they played and the way the offense played. I think we punted, once going into half and then once there at the end of the game. And, other than that, it was a pretty clean effort. Thank you to the fans that were here in Manhattan. We heard you. In 2020, it's not hard to hear most of the fans there. So they were cheering loud and proud, especially after the game too. And thank you to Longhorn Nation, for supporting us back at home or wherever you guys are. These guys played their guts out. We're down multiple starters, multiple key backups, and played their tails off. And I just couldn't be prouder of them. Quick injury update: Jared Wiley re-aggravated, his shoulder injury from a few weeks ago. So we'll evaluate him tomorrow. And then obviously you guys know about Derek and dislocated ankle, and it was reduced at the hospital. He's back here in the locker room with us. He led us in Texas fight, which was tear-jerking, to say the least. How much love and admiration and respect this team has for him, and he'll be able to fly on the team plane back to Austin with us. So it's really, really good news. So again, happy to get out of here with a win. I got a ton of respect for Coach Kleiman and what he does. That's those schemes on what they do offensively, man. That's tough to fit, especially when you're doing it with your 2s and 3s sometimes. And but the offense had the defense's back, and the defense, got the ball to the offense 3 times, which was huge. So, excited to get out of here with a W, and excited to continue our quest to send these seniors out with 4 straight winning seasons and a lot of memorable moments as they were the catalyst of laying this tremendous foundation that we have here. Questions?
Thanks, Coach. We'll go ahead and start with Brian.
Yeah, Tom, 2 questions. First one, after the missed field goal and the 3 and out, what did you think of the way your team conducted itself after Derek's injury and kept going? And number 2 is, do you still feel that Bijan needed to establish a baseline over the last few months, a platform, if you will, to build on to have a day like today?
Yeah, that's exactly what I told the team, Brian, at halftime. I said we were in total control. We were having fun. We had, released all of the pressures off of ourselves. We had a great week of practice, fun week of practice. We were bouncing around, enjoying each other like we never have around here. And then, one of our leaders, our guys, on the pyramid of Longhorns, he's at the top. And, we get the fumble recovery. We get it in great territory. Derek goes down, I think, after the first down play. Everybody's heads just sunk, right? And we didn't get a first down. We kick a field goal, miss it, and then they drive the length of the field and, get themselves back in the game before halftime. And that's what I told them at halftime. I said, guys, Derek's going to be okay. And he would be so angry. He would be so angry if he knew that we were, playing like this because we were sad for him. we've got to go out and we've got to, play the same way we played to start the first half and into the second quarter. And the guys responded. They knew that kind of took an emotional toll on them for a minute, and they kind of gathered themselves at halftime and kind of refocused and came out in the second half much the way they did in the first half. And then, yeah, absolutely. Again, with Bijan, the speed of the game has finally slowed down for him. It hadn't early in the year, and Bijan was never going to be an early enrollee guy anyways. He was a summer guy anyways, and so that's I've told you guys that before. I mean, we phased Ezekiel Elliott in his freshman year. It's just you just see certain things as a true freshman tailback. You're either too fast to the hole or too slow to the hole, or you're trying to make too many cuts behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, just there's 1,000 bad habits that have to get fixed in an 2020. I don't know whose baby's crying, but tell the baby hook 'em for me. No, I think he would be the first to tell you that he needed kind of that phasing in process to understand the scheme and the speed of the game.
Bob, go ahead.
Tom, you told us on Monday that you were only focused on Kansas State and going 1-0 this week. With everything going on the outside, how did you get your players to focus in on that too? Because obviously it's a little bit of a different situation than normal. The rumors are a little bit different than normal. So I'm curious how you got them to buy into that part of it again.
They've been at Texas for 4 years, 3 years, and those that haven't, we leaned on the older guys to tell the younger guys, what this place, to ignore the noise, and they did a great job of it. It was very much. I know you guys may or may not believe me, but it was very much business as usual throughout the course of the week, because these guys are experienced at playing at a place like Texas, and those that aren't have learned from those that are.
Anwar, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. 2 questions for you, just kind of building off of Bob's question, and I have a second one. He asked you about the players, but I'm curious about yourself. You hearing that outside noise, how are you blocking that out, and how have you been able to, handle this week? And then the second question, can you just talk about some of the players that stepped up and, that normally don't play a lot, but Jaron Thompson, got an interception today, Benda did. So the first question is about yourself more specifically, and then talk about the guys who filled in.
Yeah, I don't hear it. I don't, I don't listen to it. And, I believe what, our administration and my bosses tell me. And when you don't get on the internet and you stick to Yahoo News and Words with Friends and the Chive app, when you're bored, you kind of tend to stay above the fray a little bit, and so it was not too difficult. And then what was the second part of the question? I'm sorry, Anwar.
It's about the guys who stepped up that normally don't play, like the Jaron Thompsons, the Bendas, those kind of people.
Oh, yeah, just extremely proud of them. Proud of their coaches for getting them ready. They delivered. We knew that, Jaron Thompson, was continuing to improve throughout practices, and we knew that he would be ready to fill in when needed, and he did a great job. He wasn't perfect, and the same with David, the same with Andre Carrick, and you name it. Jake Majors, we had 2 true freshmen playing on the offensive line, and rushed for over 300 yards. but all of those guys deserve a ton of credit for picking up. We talked about early in the week that no burden is too heavy if everybody lifts. And as long as we had everybody lifting, that we were going to be just fine. And, it's a testament to the way that those young guys, I don't know why the lights just went out on me. There we go. I don't know. That is definitely a testament to the young guys and the way that they prepared and performed, but also to the veterans, the guys that have played, to continue to lift them up and be part of that collective lifting of the burden.
Kirk, go ahead. Got it, Kirk?
Yeah, sorry. Tom, I'm glad to hear you're on Word with Friends. That's a cool app.
We got to play. You want to play?
Absolutely. Bring it on. So
I love you. Send me your username.
Okay. You've talked before about playing to the competition and sometimes down to the competition. It seemed like y'all played more to a standard today. And what was it different? Was being out of the race have something to do that? Is that something you've been able to tap into?
I would argue we played to the competition last week. I mean, that's a top 10 football team that we got beat on the last second, a last minute drive and got beat by 3 points. 2 of our 3 losses this year to I don't know what Oklahoma's ranked. I'm sure they're close to the top 10. But I would argue that we played right to the level, a 4 overtime loss and a 3-point loss to 2 top 10 teams. And then today, we just, again, we found a way to have fun and play for the joy of just playing football and play for the joy of playing for each other. And we talked about that at the very beginning of the week, and I was really, really proud of our team for seeing that through and seeing it to fruition.
So maybe it's just not being as uptight for the players, maybe something like that, just playing for fun and letting go. I guess there's a balance, I guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not quite sure what you're asking, Kurt.
Well, I just wonder, when I said play to the competition, I kind of meant over the last 4 years. You've mentioned that before, and today you didn't do that. K-State was struggling, but you guys seem like you maximized your potential.
Yeah, we're really proud of the way that we played, and that they were struggling, but they were at full. I think they've had both their starting linebackers back for the first time in a couple weeks, and they'd been hurt a lot with COVID issues, but they were at pretty full strength minus their quarterback, which is obviously he's a great player in this conference, but that was a really good team that we played today, and very disciplined, very well coached, and playing on their senior day, their last game of the year, and they gave us their best shot, and they got ours. As undermanned as we might have been, we had a lot of fun playing, and I was very pleased with the outcome.
Got time for a couple more questions, and we'll move on to players. Start with John High.
Coach, you said you don't hear or listen to the noise, but has anyone close to you been telling you what's going on? And because I think you're human. I mean, if you hear something, it has to affect you in some way. If you're hearing rumors about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not oblivious to the general. I don't get into the fray of the specifics, but I'm not oblivious of the general chatter out there. But are you calling me not human, John? I mean, it's actually I tell our team all the time, control what you can control. And I would be a hypocrite if I didn't do the same. And, that's what we've got to do, control what we can control. And we did a great job of doing that this week.
Chip, go ahead.
Tom, can you talk about Jake Majors and just his development and what you saw from him today?
Yeah, and that not just today. We've seen it for a while leading up to today. We think the sky is the limit for Jake. He's a natural born leader. I don't know if he's a natural born leader, but when we got him, he was as good a true freshman leader as I've seen. Understands the game. The game is not too fast for him, and to play that position as a true freshman is very impressive. And he did a phenomenal job today. I think, we rushed for over 300 yards. Usually your O-line, played pretty decently if you did that. And so, no, I think that the future is very, very bright for Jake.
Two last ones, Nick and then Cedric.
Yeah, Tom, obviously we already talked a lot about Bijan. He was remarkable today, but, Roshan also had 140 yards. Feels kind of weird that he's almost an afterthought when we're talking about Bijan, but that's how good he is. But, we talked about the growth of Bijan. So what kind of growth have you seen from Roshan, coming in and averaging, 10 yards a carry today too?
Yeah. I told him after the game, he's going to be a captain here. What a tremendous leader. Probably a two-time captain if I had to bet on it. He's a phenomenal leader, phenomenal worker. He's a bit like E.F. Hutton. When he talks, people listen. And he's a tremendous, because of his work ethic. He's a tremendously hard worker, and and the way he plays, he's got, we've got a few guys that when you watch him in practice, the Joseph Osais, the Keandre Coburns, and Roshan Johnsons, they got two speeds, off and full, and when that chin strap gets buckled, man, it's full speed, and he has really, really grown into that position. His vision, his yards after contact is phenomenal because of how hard he runs. And again, that's a hard transition to go from the position he played in high school to the position that he's playing now. And you can see him, continue to develop along the way.
Last one, Cedric, go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, Kirk's not very good at words with friends, so save your time on that one. I'm going to you guys put together a complete game in all three phases, and I know you got one left, and you go station to station usually, but when you look back over the season and see how close you were to being in that mix, how disappointing is that for you?
We'll talk about that after the bowl game. We got a game this week that we got to try to go 1-0 for these seniors, and a bowl game to send them out, with 8 wins and 4 straight winning seasons. And so, the time for reflection and all of that will be, in the next couple months.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate the time.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hook 'em.
Thanks, Tom.